Hey everyone, welcome back. Special treat again. Today I'm joined by a veteran of the Pokemon Draft League scene and someone who's battled his way through countless semifinals, finals, and whatnot across like the PPL, APA, PAC, SPL, and other acronyms. He's faced VGC legends like Cybertron, Poke-Aim, and draft legends like OG Albina, and that's a +1. Please welcome Mountaih. What's up, buddy?
How you doing, man?
I'm good. I've been waiting for this. This is great. Thank you for actually doing this. This is I talked to Uzi last week and we just had so much fun. I got to know him for a little bit beforehand and you kind of gave me a little extra time in the beginning just to kind of talk about how similar we are in Toronto-ness beforehand. So that was a lot of fun. So let's just dive in. First question, and I think everybody wants to know this question before anything else is, do you like the player picture I chose for you in the thumbnails?
Yeah, that question has been on everyone's mind, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's like I'm asked every day.
Yeah. Actually, yes, I was surprised that you got such a good one.
It is a good one.
From, yeah. I'm guessing you just took that from one of my videos or what?
Yeah, I creeped you pretty hard. I got good ones for everybody else because like you got like James is like at regional, so he's got one like this and stuff like that. And then you got like Necra, she's a caster, so she's like crazily photographed in like her casting and stuff like that. And I was like, hey, you got one? You're like, nah. I'm like, all right, well, I'll find one. So yeah, now we got the tough question out of the way. Let's get into the layups. I guess a good way to start off is, how did you get started on YouTube? Like, you do so much draft stuff, but where did it start?
Yeah, well, I got the Draft League itch, 2020 or so, and like never really intended to be a YouTube guy, but I didn't know where to join a draft league. So I just took to Reddit and was like looking for, join draft league Reddit or something. And then the first one I found, it was a guy advertising a league, but it was like an upload required league, like a YouTube league.
Yeah.
And I've always enjoyed like editing videos and making videos and stuff, and I already had the equipment. I even had the Elgato like screen recording equipment already because I made other videos for different games and stuff. So I was like, well, this seems like a pretty natural fit. I guess I'll try this out. And then I ended up winning that first league, and the rest is history, I guess.
You won your first one?
I did, yeah.
That's crazy. You just win all the time.
Like, this was not like, WDL or anything, but yeah, it was a good introduction to draft for me, I think.
Hey, listen, SPL had so many good players in there too. I was actually looking at the players that were in it, and they had like Joe UX9, and like you personally played Aaron, like you played like it was like an all-star league. That one's probably, I would say, arguably harder than this one, just because of all the names that were in it. So like I guess you're not done this one, so it's kind of hard to say, but you definitely have experience playing players of this caliber for sure.
I've definitely played some excellent players in singles and now doubles as well. Some of the best singles players do play draft as well, and mostly in showdown leagues. And I've been in some showdown leagues and played some of those guys, and they're really amazing too.
But there's nothing like the real thing, playing like actually in the game and seeing the animations and the real
true.
Yeah, like I've used to play a ton of showdown, and it's like it's just not the same. It doesn't hit as hard,
I agree. I'm a sucker for actually playing the Wi-Fi game, even though it has its own challenges.
The timer?
The timer, and like I'm particularly bad at like keeping track of stuff, which is like a something I can lean on Showdown for a bit. And it's not even because I've been trained, because I don't know, I feel like I play Wi-Fi as much as I play Showdown these days, so not even like I'm just some Showdown guy who can't play Wi-Fi. It's just my particular skill set is not really suited to Wi-Fi, yet I enjoy it the most, so here we are.
Well, you've definitely proven that you can play in like on cart. Like I don't think there's any doubt there. You beat one of the best players on the planet playing in a cart league. So that was, I think everybody remembers that one. And by the way, if you haven't seen that match, go watch it. It was one of the most fun draft matches I've ever seen. Just because all the techs that Mount brought, and like Aaron's team was so incredibly strong, and just it was, and a finals match is just always great to watch. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out, and we'll get into his channel a little bit later on, and where you can find him. But let me see. So I saw that you had your first draft match. You posted it like 5 years ago, and I noticed right now you're not wearing a suit because, you know, you're off, you're not working, you know, you're not playing. This is just more casual. Yeah. So like I would have to say either you played a high level of hockey or you're just that classy. What's with the suit?
Nothing to do with hockey.
Oh, really?
Believe it or not. No. No, I just dress for the job you want, you know? Professional YouTuber. I just thought it would be a funny little niche, and so worked it into my first video, and I was like, I should just like do this every time. I think it'd be funny. And now it's like weird if I'm not wearing it. So every time I do have a game that I put on YouTube, I will wear the suit. And then if I'm doing like a draft analysis or something like this, I won't wear it. But
oh, okay.
When I lock in, suit is on.
Yeah. It's like the whole uniform like thing. Like I played baseball growing up and stuff like that, and there was an element of putting the gear on, like the cleats, and like putting the socks on, and like, and it's just like you're just kind of playing like Eye of the Tiger in the back of your mind while you're suiting up. And like, it's what time is it? Games, you know, stuff like that. So that's really cool. I like that. It actually kind of gets you in the right mentality before you play. Speaking about before you play, so correct me if I'm wrong or add to it or whatever it might be. So you're a singles player for the most part, OLR, BBR finalist, I noticed, PPL finalist, PAC top 4, and DPL.
Those are
there
some
any,
of the leagues. Yeah.
Any that I'm missing? Like I've got more here, like APA, PAC, CGT, acronym fill in the blank. So like
there's a lot of a lot of these are like Gen 8 Wi-Fi leagues.
Yeah.
Back before draft was like, I mean not before draft. It was like in that period where draft had like low viewership because a lot of people left the scene. Were you playing draft in Gen 8?
I did. That's how I started actually after WBE.
Yeah, that's right around the time I joined then. And it was all I knew. I was like, oh, people were like, draft is dead. And I was like, this is pretty good. I'm getting like 200 views. But yeah, so CGT was a big one for me. That was Champions of Galar. That was like the best of the best of that was actually kind of where I made a name for myself. Because were you around when the website draft.nl
oh yeah, draftleague.nl. Yeah, what was his name again?
Automatic.
Yeah, Automatic. Yeah, I remember that. I don't know how he did it, but like you had to message him every time you wanted to make a change to the website. I'm like, I don't know how he could do it, like just the way it was set up, but that was an amazing website.
Not for like transactions and stuff, but if you wanted to create an account, you had to message him. Yeah, so it was like not very automated in that sense, but
no.
But anyway, context for the viewers, if you weren't aware of what it was like it was just a site you could host draft leagues on, and then there was also you would have like a rating tied to your account.
Yeah.
That would go up and down based on like how well you perform and like the
caliber of league
play. Yep. And so actually PAC was the first ever 5-star caliber league. That was what's called Pokemon All-Star Competition. I did win that one a couple seasons in, but CGT was where I like really got my start, because I ended up, before I joined that league, I hit #1 on the aggregate like ranking of all the players out of like 5,000 players, and I've been trying for like a year at that point to hit it, and then but I hadn't really been in like a big league, and then I got invited to Champions of Galar CGT, and I said no because it was just like bad timing, because I didn't want to I was like trying to take the summer off because I had been playing nonstop for like a year, and I was like, I need some time off. And then someone dropped after week 3, and then I don't know if you know Addison, but she was hosting it. She reached out to me again, and was like, "Hey, you gonna join now?" And I was like, "Okay, fine." And then I took over a losing team, and then I ended up winning the whole thing. And I was like, "Whoa, I think I can like really do this. I think I might be a good player here." So that was kind of like the launching pad of my career sense, at least in like Gen 8. And then, you know, I gained a bit of notoriety from that and joined like some high-level showdown leagues and stuff. I have like mixed results in those because those players are amazing, but
well, now everybody wants you, right? Like look what you've been invited to, right? Like,
yeah.
So
well,
who asked you? Sorry, go ahead.
Well, that's just how I met Joey. Is in Gen 9, he wanted to join, like, I guess whatever the biggest ongoing from Gen 8 leagues were, and then there was like BBR and there was PPL, which kind of just got restarted because Joey and those guys were coming back. And so I know the guy, or Gray V, they were hosting PPL and invited me to it, and that's when Joey joined. And then like kind of got to know Joey, and then he invited me to SPL, and that's basically how I ended up in the position that I'm in today, because I won SPL.
Famous.
Long story short. Yeah.
Ended up being famous. No, that's really cool, and that was one of the bigger ones I've seen since the WBE with A Drive, and it kind of sucks that one isn't going anymore, right? Because I think a lot of people really got into draft and put it on the map, right? So it's nice to see that people are still going with it, and I think PokeAim does a good job at that. But the draft community is just so massive; you can find a league anywhere. So I guess you kind of answered my next question. It was more like which runner finals match stands out to you the most, and I think the one on when you were doing Draft League NL, what was it, CGT, was it?
Yeah, Champions of Galar. Although I would say that has been replaced by the SPL win at this point.
It was wild. Like, I don't blame you. That was wild.
That was definitely the biggest win in my career. Like, to be able to beat Cybertron, you know, I never would have thought it was possible. Like, coming in as a singles player primarily, but you know, I know the Pokemon mechanics, and then draft is a whole different animal from just normal doubles. So yeah, I was able to find some success.
Well, it's crazy that you trapped him with the Ursaluna. You set up the end game you wanted, and I found that was so impressive. You're just like, I want to have a Basculegion versus a Ursaluna setup, and I want him to not be able to touch me. I just can't get hit by anything to pop my air balloon, and you did such a good job preserving it. And when you set it up at the end, you knew that the game was over. You're like, he's shown me all of his moves. He has EQ, Headlong Rush, Facade. He can't touch me. And obviously Protect because it's VGC. But no, that was just... So it's kind of like... Was it like a little anticlimactic kind of celebration at the end? Because like you knew you won like 3 turns earlier and you're like, I think I got him.
Well, for me, the climax was the moment when I realized that I won, which was when I knocked out his Enamorus. Which, like first he protected his Enamorus when he could have popped my balloon, and that was like, okay, there's a chance here, okay,
pop it out of your chair.
I did end up, so that was like the pre-climax, and then did crit his Enamorus, but there was a few rolls to kill. I think it was like 25% or something. So definitely got lucky, but that was the moment I knew, and great feeling.
No, that's crazy. And like it's weird. Like it's like I've watched a bunch of different people reacting to their own. I think I binged it a little bit this week. I would just I just typed in finals, like draft finals, and I started watching, just fast forwarding to the last turn, just to see how people react to when they win, and tell me if this is true, because I felt the same way when I won mine. And it's almost just like it's such a long grind of a season. Sometimes it's like 2+ months, right? Depending on how long the season is and how long the draft takes and stuff. Like, you're so committed to this. So 2.5 months of your life, and it finally comes to an end, and it's over. There's no more weeks to prep for. It's done, and you've actually won it. Silence is the only thing, and just trying to grasp the moment was the one thing that I found. Did you find that as well?
For that particular win, since it was like down to the last, essentially, till that moment I was saying is the climax, I was pretty hyped up, you know? But I've definitely had other games where like I knew that I had won like any turns back, or like had a pretty good feeling.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I guess those are a little less like, popping out of my chair in celebration at the last turn. But,
did you celebrate when you won it?
I didn't like pop a bottle of champagne or anything, but like I was definitely like happy.
You feeling good? Yeah, like a little bit extra confidence too. Like, did you feel like, you know what, maybe I can go compete at another regional? Like maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna definitely try going. I'm gonna go to the Toronto regional next time that comes up.
January, man, I'll be there.
January, yeah, no, nice. So yeah, I did one in-person tournament after, or no, I think it was like in the middle of SPL. It was like, okay, this is pretty fun. And yeah, I don't know if you've done the locals in Toronto, but those guys are good. So
yeah, there's a lot of really good players.
Yeah, I got there were like 20 of us, and then one of the guys I met there, who was also like brand new, he was like, the last guy I played, he told me that half these people have been to Worlds, and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I went 2 and 3 and didn't make top cut, unfortunately. But I also didn't really prep too much other than like the night before. So I'd like to really like sit down and make a good team and try and, have take my shot at like doing well at a regional or any tournament.
Yeah, go for it. And you know what's cool? You're connected to the right people in this league, which is the WDL. So
that's true.
I'm sure they wouldn't mind if you reached out to them and asked them a couple of things. But a little bit more on the SPL. So just to kind of quickly go over so people remember, the roster was Archaludon, Mousehold, Thundurus Incarnate, Overquill, Basket Legion Male, Pelipper, Berserker, Weirdeer, Rhyperior, Virizion.
Yes.
You didn't make a single transaction all season, did you?
No.
Ride or die, I guess, right?
There was a change I made in Grace, and that was never revealed. But I initially drafted... Oh, what was it? It was something over Virizion. I was like torn between Virizion and something else.
Yeah.
I remember now. It was
probably
like
a grass type.
Terrible. Yeah, it was another grass type. And it fulfilled like a different role. And then I looking at my team more and I was like, some special defense would be good.
Yeah.
I don't have much of that. And so I decided to try Virizion instead, and made that change before like the grace period ended. So essentially it was like the roster that I drafted. But yeah, and then I just rode them for the rest of the season because I really liked that team. Much stronger than my current team, IMO.
Well, we'll get into your current team eventually, but I noticed that team and the one that Joey drafted is pretty similar. The similarities are Archaludon, Basket Legion Male, Pelipper, and Rhyperior. He has all 4. Is it a cause for concern because you know how good they can be?
Yeah, for sure.
But you know how they play, so...
That's true. Yeah, I mean, I guess that makes it a little easier to prep against, given the experience that I have, but those Mons buried me, so, there's it's not a coincidence that he drafted those Mons all together, and so did I. It's because they work really well together, so... Yeah, definitely, I haven't played Joey yet at the time of filming, so yes, I'm concerned for that matchup.
Yeah, looking at the schedule here, you play him week, week 5, so you got a little bit of time. Like us in the past and us normies over here watching you guys, we're in week 2 right now, so I'm really kind of curious. I would love to ask you questions about it, but I don't want to be spoiled because I'm covering it. I want to react and not know what's going to happen, so don't tell me anything. So getting into a little bit of like, we talked about those names like Pokeaim and Cybertron and stuff like that. Like, you've faced big names like that before. Like, how do you approach those kind of like high profile matches? Well, you put on the suit.
Yeah, I put the suit on.
Put the suit on, yeah.
So honestly, like, no differently. If it's so in the context of like playoffs, like against Cybertron, I would maybe ask a few more people to help me out with mock battles.
Yeah.
Or just if I felt it was like a big game, like really want to beat Joey, like, yeah, I'll ask a few extra people for mocks. I usually try and do like between 3 and 5, depending how serious I'm taking the league. But for something like this, I want to do at least 3 to 5 mocks a week. So, but if it was like a really big game, I would just ask a few more people. But as far as like my actual methodology goes, it doesn't really change. Like, yeah, I'm kind of bad sometimes about like writing down what my EVs do at the start of a week. Yeah. And then like later in the week, I'll be like, oh, actually, I need to change this. And I was like, oh, wait, but what was I even doing here? So, you know, locking in a little more is something I will do for a big game where I like write things down meticulously.
Yeah, you dot your I's, cross your T's, kind of things like that. Just a little more tender love and care with the team and your plan and stuff like that. So you're just more prepared, but the process doesn't seem to change much compared to what you normally do.
That's right. Yeah.
No, that makes sense. Like, cause like I've played a couple of players before in the past where I got a little nervous. I'm like, oh my goodness, this person, like, nowhere near the caliber of these guys, but yeah, you definitely get a little nervous when you play somebody that's like notoriously winning. Like, they win a lot, and it just means a lot. So talking about some of these players too, like, who are some of like the VGC players in general that you kind of look up to or just like study as you like prepare, like just getting used to VGC and the transition from singles? Like, who is more of an inspiration, and who kind of like, who do you look up to, like I said, kind of thing?
Definitely Wolf. I mean, like, canned answer, but like he's got a great mind for the game, and he makes very informative videos. Like, I started watching, you know how he's doing a series about like best grass type or something, for example. Yeah. So prior to the draft, I watched a bunch of those. Try and get like more context for doubles and like the history of certain mons, and it was pretty helpful, to be honest. And otherwise, honestly, I don't consume that much doubles content. Yeah. So
but you're so busy playing, right? You play all the time.
Yeah. So if I am playing someone who is like a doubles player who has a lot of content, I will watch their stuff.
Yeah.
Part of that is just like scouting to see what kind of player they are.
Yeah.
But yeah, I often end up learning things when I do that.
Yeah.
Because
tendencies,
you know. Yeah. Well, no, just like about the game. Like, I'm still learning stuff about doubles pretty consistently. So working on that still.
Well, there's so much. Like, VGC has so much, like, just involved, so many board states, so many things, so many field conditions, so many secondary effects and percentages, and what does the most amount of damage here and here and here, and it changes constantly. Like, like in James's match versus actually in yours, you're here. So when he stacked up your Sun Boost with his Blaze Boost, it was just like, holy crap, like that does a lot of damage. But like little things like that, it's just like sometimes you get KO'd by something, you're like, what? Why did that KO? Meanwhile, there was an ability, or there was a lack of an ability that did less or something, or like just some passive condition that was just happening, or an item. And it's just so surprising. There's so many things that can change, and is the most complex children's game I've ever seen.
Yeah. You know what I've realized that I need to, like, I think the main difference for me as someone who's coming from singles is, well, there's two things I've realized actually throughout this season that I didn't even really tap into too much last season. One of them is paying attention to like speed, like turn order.
Oh yeah, big one.
Often, I mean, like against James, for example, I could have realized earlier that Ursaluna outsped Blastoise, and that might have influenced my decision at the end of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Just little things like that, where because normally in singles it's like you're faster or you're not, and you usually know which one's faster. And if there's Trick Room up, you know, there's usually no Tailwind. Trick Room is very obvious when it happens, and so there's just a lot less of like brain power that goes into thinking, okay, what's going to happen before what, because it's just one or the other. And so I've found in my first few games in WDL, I've been making some mistakes as far as that goes, just like not being as on the ball as I should be with that. And so I need to log into that more. I'm going to be doing that going forward.
Yeah.
The other thing is, what was the other thing? Oh, mid-match adjustments. Another thing I don't ever have to do in singles.
There's no game 2.
There's no game 2. And I think my team in SPL was so strong that I was able to create like 2 really good modes that would, 2 or 3 even, I could kind of like alternate depending on if I was feeling like it, to be honest. Because it's easy to make a team that was strong with the mods that I had, I think. And it's been more of a struggle this time. I think I need to be a little more creative on the fly, and like think about my adjustments rather than just like, I'll go with mode 2 because mode 1 didn't work. And like, no, maybe you should pay attention to what happened in game 1 and like figure out mode 2 from there. So those have been like the big lessons. I know this wasn't even a question you asked, but I just felt like getting it out there.
No, this is great.
These have been my insights as a singles guy who's like doing some serious doubles now. You know?
Yeah, there's so much involved, like, and these guys that you're playing right now too, it's all second nature to them. So like that's one of the hardest parts. I think in some of my analysis of like the previews for the week, I'm just like, they're just so good at just adapting. Like I noticed in the game that you played against James, it's just like, I think I said he VGC'd you in games 2 and 3, and it's just, there's really no other way as a verb. Yeah, there's just no other way to do it. It's just like they know their win conditions. Identifying the win condition is just, they pick it out like that and they pick you apart. So like these like best of 1 strategies and stuff just to get a quick win in game 1 is always really, really nice. But is the team well-rounded, and are you able to put together like adapting on the fly and stuff like that? Like I played VGC Draft League like specifically, and haven't even touched a singles draft league. That maybe in the future, maybe you can teach me or something. No, it's like just some people, they build really gimmicky teams, but when you play higher caliber players or like higher level skill divisions and stuff like that, those only get you maybe a game. Like and not to toot my own horn or anything, but like I've lost so many game 1s I can't even imagine. Like I couldn't even put a number to it. But like I've watched back some of my games. Like there was one, it was like week 1 and I got slaughtered. Like the guy led Araquanid. I'm like, okay, so I'm just gonna do this and then attack into this. Terra Water, liquidation, boom, dead, game over. And I'm like, so, okay, so I lost that one. Meanwhile, I'm like analyzing game 2. What am I going to do game 2 as the damage is just coming in? I'm just getting 1 down. All right, what am I going to do game 2? Another one. Maybe I'll start with this. Then I'm just like dying and the animations are going off. And then game 2 starts. I'm like, okay, so we just have to do this, right? It's just game 2, right? And like tilt is so big. Like I've known so many good players that something happens in a game 1 that they're not expecting, and then they can't come back from it and they lose game 2 and it just doesn't go well. So yeah, like these guys are just so good when you play other players and they just kind of pick apart what you're going to do. And you know, but getting into this season actually with the Wolfey Draft League, like what do you think of the team you have so far? You kind of mentioned a little bit into it, like obviously if you made any trades, we can't talk about those yet, people don't know. But how do you feel? I'll just kind of go over the team right now just in case. So Ursaluna Bloodmoon, Torkoal, Oranguru, Illumise, Scraggy, Raichu, Blaziken, Copperaja, Executor, Sentret. So how did you feel about your draft, and do you see trades coming in the near future?
Draft I felt okay about. I think I was sort of trying to emulate in a different way, but I was trying to emulate my SPL team where I had like a weather mode, but it wasn't going to be the primary aspect of this team, and I knew it. So I also wanted to lean into Trick Room. Yeah, the idea was like Oracle plus Blood Moon is they have some synergy together. You know, resist water.
Yeah.
You get like extra healing from Moonlight, and they're both super slow, so makes a pretty good Trick Room core.
Yep.
And then basically just filling out the team with guys who can abuse Trick Room or Sun was basically my plan. The problem I found was like mostly the budget. Like the budget in this league was much stricter than like SPL, for example.
Yeah.
So I think my plan was like grander than my wallet. If that makes sense. So spoiler alert, I will be making some transactions.
Gotcha.
Several times, actually.
No, that's cool. That's
At this
cool.
point,
As long as you don't tell us what it is.
I won't tell you. I made transactions after week 2 and week 3.
Oh, okay.
So, and now I'm out, and everyone's out. So transaction period is over, as far as like IRL time goes. But
yeah,
you'll see them soon. So I think my team is better now. Long story short, and I wish I could talk about it, but I can't.
Yeah, because I told you beforehand, I'm like, just don't. The natural reaction from my videos is kind of, I'm leaning on it. So yeah, one of the things I noticed about your team in the beginning, I don't know if you saw it. It was I kind of just analyzed your team. Again, I said none of the teams were really bad. It's just which ones were better than the others. And I noticed that your team, it's more like you can play your team, because I do build against like the preview for the week. I build for each player, like yourself and your opponent. What would you do against said rosters, right? And I noticed my initial evaluation was your team is one-dimensional, and you're gonna have a hard time trying to get that dimension going, especially against better players that can kind of lean into that a bit. But as I started prepping against it, I was just like, all right, here's Mount's team. All right, now let's go into James's team. And I'm like, how do I stop this? This is gonna be actually not as easy as I thought it would be. So just because you have so much natural offense on the team, and you have enough offense on the fast mode. So, but again, like if I had to pick it apart, it was like, you know what? I kind of wish it was more of a hybrid team rather than more hard Trick Room. Yeah. But the team, I thought it played pretty well in game 1, week 1, and you were in games 2 and 3. So I think game 3 got away from you a little bit, because that Cinderace was just so hard to break through. It's just OHKOing everything. But I don't think getting Trick Room up was a problem, which is probably the main criticism I had. So I thought your team after that week, I thought was pretty good. I would have actually bumped it up probably a tier myself from C. I think I put it into to B. And you can't talk about the moves to change it. You can't. You're not allowed.
I know. I wish I could.
Yeah, I wish you could too. This kind of sucks. You guys are ahead. I would do the same thing if I was running a league like this. I would get ahead, because like again, uploads are really hard to kind of keep up with sometimes. Speaking about the draft though, so what was your strategy with the draft? Like you said, you went for like the Tricker mode and you went for the Sun, but just like conceptually, like did you go for like comfort picks, or did you go for like kind of VGC staples, or like just synergy or experience you've had in the past with certain mons, or like what was the philosophy behind it?
I just wanted Blood Moon, because I knew I was picking, I think I was picking like 5th or something. So I figured I could hopefully get Blood Moon. I did. Yeah. I wanted one of the Ursalunas, basically. If Blood Moon got taken, I would have taken normal Ursaluna.
Both great.
Yeah. So anyway, I got Blood Moon. And then from there, honestly, it was like a crossroads. I remember asking a few people, I was like, should I get Torkoal here? Should I go like completely different approach? Eventually decided on Torkoal, and then definitely not comfort picks. I don't know if I've used any mon on the team before, to be honest. I think they're
probably Blaziken, no?
All new.
In singles?
Maybe. I don't know if I have, to be honest. I think maybe the only mon I've used is Caparajah.
Oh, it's
and
so
that might
good.
have been like Gen 8.
Yeah, so. Caparajah is so good. It has a special place in my heart. I love it.
Yeah. And like I've used all the mons in like, you know, either like helping other people with mock battles, or like playing just singles ladder. I've used pretty much everything except fucking Scraggy and Sentret, and I think that's it actually. No, I've never used Oranguru. Orngur was a good shout by my buddy Sven, because I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I definitely need a Trick Room guy. And Orngur is so good at getting it up.
Yep.
Because it can't be faked out. So, and then Instruct is just excellent synergy with both Blood Moon and Eruption Torkoal. So it seemed like the perfect partner. And then I definitely wanted a fast mode, like fast option slash, secondary Sunsetter. So that was Illumise. And then Scraggy was a value pick. Raichu, I initially had Electivire, and then I dropped it in Grace for Raichu.
Oh, that's what you dropped. Okay.
Yeah. Is that right? Yeah, that is right. I drafted.
Oh no, we were
Electivire
talking about
first.
SPL, not this one for Grace. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a different thing.
Yeah.
And because I liked Electivire with Follow Me, of course,
Yeah.
but he was my fastest Mon at base 95.
Yeah, that's
And I
pretty
was
bad.
prepping. I was like looking about starting prep for James, because this was prior to week 1, but I could see that James was my first opponent. And I was like, oh shit, Cinderace can run Adamant against me. Like, that's not good. And like a lot of things slower than Cinderace could also go Adamant or Modest. And so I was like, fuck, okay, I guess I should pick up some speed here before transactions lock. And so I got Raichu, and then so that basically was the idea for Raichu, and Fake Out is nice too.
Yeah.
And the other guys I just thought were good, like value picks for the style of team that I have.
Well, and any immunity is always good on a draft team as well, right? Like whether or not it's by an ability or a typing or whatever it is. Like I had a theory of just loading as many immunities as possible on a team one time, and I didn't think you would use a lightning rod. We're about to see your week 2 at the end of this week. Just in case this comes out after week 2, it is week 2 we're looking at, and my preview actually had a lightning rod to face the toxicity, and I thought it could have been impactful. Not even so much just to protect something beside it, it was more so just so you don't take any damage from a potential threat. So, and not to mention Raichu's offense isn't super great, but after a +1, that's something else. So I definitely, again, initial criticism of teams and stuff is always short-lived, because like it's easy for me to say, oh, look at that team, but I don't have the vision, right? So you kind of have you kind of see how the team plays when you draft it. So like I do these fun videos all the time of like, this is what I think of the team, and for some reason people care. but people like to know what I have to say, apparently, which has been super, super awesome so far. But yeah, so no, that's pretty cool. Like I know you're a singles player too. Like a lot of your building, do you feel like that kind of like seeps into your VGC building as well, like running kind of off the wall stuff and stuff Aaron or James or Wolf or whatever might not have ever seen before?
Yeah, I think it definitely helps. I mean, I've got like 5 years of draft experience at this point, and I've seen every tech under the sun just from like watching games too. Like I'm a consumer of draft content, so
Yeah.
And especially on Showdown, there's so many games happening all the time, and yeah, there's all kinds of crazy techs that I can either, come up with or just steal from other people or like reuse from singles games. So yeah, been leaning on that for sure.
Yeah, I think there was a moment in the SPL finals match against Aaron where you're just like, bro doesn't even know about Custap Berry? Doesn't know about Custap Berry? Like, what is this? And did you get it off? I can't remember.
No, I never got it off.
And
I had an option to, and I swapped him out.
Yeah.
Reserve it, and then it never happened.
Don't mention what Custap Berry is. If you know what Custap Berry is, comment down below and just be like, oh yeah, I've lost to that before, or whatever it is. If you know, you know, kind of thing. Okay, so let me see. So, and last question about like kind of like the team and stuff like that. Is there a Pokemon on your team that you're really, yeah, I guess you can't talk about what you've swapped out, but is there a Pokemon on your team that you're like really excited about using this season, and why?
I would say Blaziken so far has been a lot of fun to use. Yeah, I didn't have like low expectations of it, but they weren't too high either. Mostly just given off of the like low point value that it is on the tier list. I was like, oh, maybe it just sucks in doubles. I don't know. But no, it seems pretty good.
Yeah.
Like Speed Boost is just like a broken ability, and
the
offenses are there. Like having good special attack is actually really good in draft. You can use it sometimes. So Yeah, I think Blaziken has been a fun prize. It has a lot of good moves, and it's just cool. It's a cool mon.
Oh, for sure. I think it's awesome the fact that you can run it physical and special, and they have to prepare for both. And like you said, speed boost, right? And its move pool's pretty impressive too, right? And a fast coaching user like that. Yeah, it's got everything. It's more so used in singles, I guess, but in doubles, like if people aren't ready for it, they can just get swept by it. So especially with like turn one, you just go fake out Swords Dance. Now you're +2 attack, and now you're +1 speed. Best of luck. So it's harder to get off in doubles, but it's definitely a thing for sure. So thank you for that. So just to kind of like ask a couple questions, just to kind of finish up before we start the lightning round. Ooh, the lightning round.
Ooh.
I had fun with Uzi for this one as well. So I asked Uzi in our interview as well. Let's say you go all the way and you win the WDL, Wolfey Draft League. How does Mount celebrate?
This time I'll pop that bottle of champagne, I think. Yeah. Actually, you know what I do? Whenever I do like really well in draft, I'll usually take my wife out to dinner. Especially if I've like won money in a tournament or something.
Yeah.
Like, babe, thanks for putting up with me, ignoring you for so long. Like, let's go out to dinner.
She won as much as you did, yeah.
Don't actually ignore my wife.
No, that's wicked. No. That's so cool that she's a part of this kind of stuff as well, and she's been in a few videos as well, which is awesome. But I already asked you if you're attending a VGC regional soon, so I'm going to see you in Toronto, which is awesome. I'll be there. I know a bunch of people, friends of mine, are kind of coming in, which is going to be awesome as well. It's kind of turned into a pretty big event. Like I know that Orlando has been one of the bigger ones, and Los Angeles and things like that have been kind of on the higher participant numbers, but Toronto's getting up there. People are just like, you know what? I live in the Northeast. I'll go to Toronto. You know, so you get a lot of high profile players coming. Like Wolfey always comes to Toronto. It seems so that's always exciting.
Yes.
All right, but the most fun part of the interview, before we just kind of finish it off, I got the lightning round. I'm gonna ask you some questions. People who are watching, he does not know what I'm gonna be asking him. Quick answers. You do not have to explain yourself. What's the most underrated Draft League Pokemon in singles?
Blastoise.
Ooh, you don't have to explain yourself, but I'm curious. The most underrated Draft League Pokemon in VGC.
Blaziken.
Appropriate. Favorite Pokemon type to build around.
Dark type.
All right. Question. You asked me a question back. Okay, yes, it is dark type. If you could buff one Pokemon, what would it be? Or sorry, who would it be? Who would it be?
Who, of course, who? I don't know, Luxray.
Ooh, that's a good one actually. The worst. Oh no, misplay you've ever made on camera.
So many.
Yeah, many.
Can't think of a particular time, but there's been many times where I forget about stuff like light screen or tailwind or just, again, field conditions. I'm bad at that shit. I'm better on Showdown.
Using priority moves in psychic terrain?
No, I don't think I've done that. Like,
yeah, that'd be embarrassing, wouldn't it? I know people that do it all the time. It's hilarious, and they set the terrain themselves.
I'm sure I've done it.
All right, what is harder, prepping for Cybertron or explaining Pokemon to a non-player?
I love explaining Pokemon to non-players, but whether I do a good job or not, you know, maybe it is harder to do that. In hindsight. So
one rival that you love facing in draft, singles or VGC.
Love facing?
Yeah, like one that you mark the calendar, you're like, oh yeah, we square off all the time.
Yeah, probably Addison, although I usually don't love facing her because she's so good. But like it's always, she's one of my best friends in the community as well. So yeah, it's that, and I would say Sven Thune. Sven I've battled many times, and we actually have, I think, an even record against each other. I think we're 3-3. So I would actually say Sven.
Well, the fact that you remember the record means that yes, that is the correct answer objectively.
Yes, it is Sven.
if you could bring back one mechanic permanently, would it be Mega Evolution, Z moves, Dynamax, or Terra? Terra's current, but I had to add it.
Yeah, Mega.
Mega, very cool, very cool. Well, we get it back soon. And let me ask. I'm not gonna ask that. Oh yeah, why not? What's your go-to victory meal after a big win?
Go-to meal? I don't think I have one, but like I said, I do take Mel out to dinner sometimes after a YouTube check that comes every once in a 3-month period or something like that. So
It's like, where do you take
just
her?
out to dinner. Oh, like, you know, various places. We like to go like check out new places in Toronto all the time where we live. So
Yeah, there's so many.
Whatever's hot. Yeah, I could send you my belly list if you want.
Yeah, sure, off camera for sure, and I'll put it in the description down below just in case anybody comes by.
Sure.
We got
Check out
Mount's list of restaurants. Let me see. If you could, and the last question I have for like the lightning round, this isn't even lightning, this is just another bunch of questions. If you could team up with one other YouTuber in a co-op draft league, who's your pick?
I kind of did this already, actually. There was a Smogon league where you could team up with up to 3 other people, and so myself and 3 other Wi-Fi players teamed up and tried to beat all the Showdown players. And it was Addison, Who, and Jay Ricky, and we did well. We got to like top 16 or something out of like 300 teams.
Whoa.
But we unfortunately did not win. But that was a great experience with those guys, so I would go with them again.
Nice. So that's it for the lightning round. That was a lot of fun. Like, you always find out who somebody kind of truly is when they have to answer quickly. So, I'll just kind of finish up here. So, where can people find you and your content? Just your YouTube channel, or do you have like socials or anything?
Yeah, I'm just on YouTube. I don't have Twitter or anything.
Yeah. Well, just comment on his stuff if you want to talk to him, everybody, because I'm sure he'll reply, right?
Sometimes, for sure.
Sometimes. And one last question.
Best way to reach me is on Discord, actually.
Yeah, Discord too. If you're in one of his servers, I'm sure he's all over the place in the draft scene. So, one last question. Yes. What do you hope that your fans or your new fans take away from watching you compete this season in the Wolfey Draft League?
I hope I don't look like I suck. I hope you guys are entertained, and that I'm more than just a guy who plays Pokemon, and I like to have fun with and do fun editing sometimes in my videos. So, yeah, hopefully just a guy who makes good Pokemon content.
Well, you definitely see some personality in your videos and stuff as well. Like, the more you watch, the more you get to know you and stuff. So I encourage people to do that. Go watch a lot of his matches, his single stuff. If you play singles, check out his stuff. He wins a lot, so it's always nice to watch people that win. Check out his, if you haven't checked it out, the SPL season was an absolute ride, and also follow him throughout the WDL season. Mount, thank you so much for joining me. This is so much fun, and I had a great time just kind of getting to know you before the interview and even now, and I look to kind of watch you throughout the season. So best luck in your upcoming Draft League matches. And everyone, yeah, check out his channel. Links are down below in the description. And thanks for watching, and we will see you guys in the next one. Peace. Later, Mount.
Bye.